I've gone with Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt at number 3. Who I've really struggled with. I'll be completely honest with you because I like what he is as a player, but there are some big concerns on his tape. So he's a player that I have moved around in my rankings quite a lot. Be at 6'4", 235 pounds, an explosive receiving tight end who is a legitimate mismatch with his speed, proven production, and I think he has high impact as a flex weapon who will probably predominantly have to play as a big slot type player whose value really comes in that passing game, where he's going to be able to overcome scheme and and his blocking limitations, because there are significant limitations with his blocking. As an athlete, he's a true separator at the position. Say that proven volume. He's detached from the line as a weapon. And he's going to have limited inline viability, but say as that big slot, wins with athleticism, is really intelligent in his routes, and as a receiver, really strong spatial awareness, and has an understanding for spacing and how coverage works, that his kind of archetype is going to be that detached receiving specialist, which is why I struggled with him so much, because he really just is a receiver at that point, and that's his knock. Is he just going to be an F, or is he basically just a big slot receiver? Well, if he is, then that limits him getting on the field in all 3 downs and how you're going to use him. Because I think you rarely want him playing in line. That his inline blocking is low. He really struggles to anchor against defensive ends and bigger defensive players. His pad level rises consistently, where he's just able to be forklifted, and it just doesn't have the functional play strength as a blocker to sustain a role at the moment in the NFL doing that. But you talk about traits to hang your hat on. He's a known commodity as a receiver. The athleticism special, the production. The production is real. He was ranked second amongst tight ends in receptions with 62, and was the top in receiving yards amongst tight ends with 769. This season just gone, was used in the slot 25% of the time. Does have drops, is 5 drops in 2025, which isn't necessarily concerning, because I feel like I know what he is as a receiver, and he has the ball skills, he has the ball tracking, he's a threat within his routes, and he's got the explosive release packages, and I think he's going to be one of those quarterback best friend tight ends, but I just don't want him blocking, and I do wonder what that means for your projection in the NFL. But the NFL seems to be, he's special in one area, and while I don't want him play down or overlook those blocking deficiencies, that what he can offer you as an offensive weapon just means he grades out higher for me. But there's no doubt I have concerns. Is the mute button for the first time this episode?
I haven't started speaking yet. We're all right.
Okay.
Eli Stowers is never going to be mistaken for an offensive lineman playing the tight end position.
Yeah.
He is not. That is not his game. But athletically, he's probably one of the more gifted tight ends in this class. He's going to jump off the screen. Literally, when you're watching the testing, he's going to be a huge broad jump. He's going to have a massive
He's one
vert.
so one of the players. We're recording this before the combine, so we're talking. We've recorded this a few days before the episode's actually been released, and he's one of the players who I thought, we should have waited, because
Yeah, I mean, he's number 2 for me.
Yeah.
I really like him. I think he's got everything as a receiving tight end that you want. He's got legit speed up the seam. He's got really natural hands as a catcher. He creates separation with sudden breaks. He's got really good twitch for someone his size. He's dangerous after the catch. He can pluck high balls out of the air. You do not want him against defensive ends if you can avoid that by any stretch of the imagination. And his play strength, it's not the best. But with a lot of teams, we've seen it particularly with the likes of the Rams, playing 12, even 13 personnel, at times as well. There is a role for someone like him to be a receiving weapon, and I think that receiving ability is too good to ignore.
Yeah.
And for me, exactly, I had him as number 2.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's too hard to ignore. But I do wonder, I suppose, I was watching and thinking, are you just a big slot receiver and not a tight end. And I caveat with it, I am very worried about that. So that's a real possibility when we get to the next level.